Hello from Tom's DIY Garage. If this is your first visit, I'm the Tom in the name, and if you've been here before, welcome back. It's good to see you. Either way, DIY Garage is just as you might imagine. We're talking about all things do it yourself because there's sometimes money to be saved. More importantly, at least in my book, there's satisfaction in being able to accomplish a task yourself. Being self-reliant, that sort of thing. I love all of it, and there are very few tasks that I won't try. Every task I will at least consider. Could I do that myself? A lot of times I'll say, nah, I probably can't, but there are also a lot of times where I say, absolutely, I can. This will be one of them. So this week we're going to talk a little bit about home security. Specifically, we're going to talk about those very popular doorbell cameras. A lot of people have them. You may have one. You almost certainly know somebody who has one. The big name is Ring cameras. They're kind of like the Kleenex of the doorbell camera industry. They were the first to market, at least to really make a splash. So everybody talks about, hey, how about your Ring camera? Did your Ring camera get this? Did it get a picture of that? But there are a lot of different manufacturers. I have one of the different ones. I'll talk about that in a moment. But why am I doing this? Why are we talking about this? Well, because my front door, you can't really see through it easily. You got to go up to the very top window, put your nose up against it and squint, and you can kind of get a glimpse. That's just the way the glass is. And there are no real windows that easily look out to the front porch when somebody rings the doorbell or knocks. So you want to know who is there before you open the door, and there's no easy way to do it. Ta-da! A doorbell camera. So I mentioned the Ring name, and it's not a product endorsement, it just is what it is. There are some great things about it, according to my research. There's some drawbacks about it, according to my research. The one I have found is made by a company called Eufy. They're very popular on Amazon. I have some of their other products as well, but I got this during the Amazon Prime sale. This was about $100 on sale, and it just appealed to me. Most importantly, it appealed to me because a lot of the doorbell cameras like Ring and others often get installed by a security company or that sort of thing. They have a cloud service that you have to pay for, a monthly fee to store your videos, to access your videos. What I like about this particular product is that it is all self-contained. The video goes to a storage unit in the house. It doesn't go to anybody else. I don't have to pay anybody to access that video, to keep the video. So it's got the doorbell camera. You can see that. This is actually the doorbell, and it's the storage unit, and it gets plugged into the house, and they communicate via Wi-Fi. So we're going to install it from start to finish. It should be easy, and we're got a drill that we need. We've got a screwdriver, and we've got some drill bits, and we'll get it done from start to finish. We'll see how it goes. Let's go. We're starting with basically a standard doorbell. You just press it. It makes my dogs bark, you know. This doorbell camera comes with a couple of different options to connect it. It can be battery powered. The advertisement says you charge it once and the battery lasts about 6 months after normal use, with normal use. So you charge it roughly twice a year, which seems pretty reasonable. However, you can also hardwire it as well. Most doorbells that people have on their house are electrically powered. There's some wires back there. It runs on the house current. And I think my preference is to hardwire the doorbell camera because that way I don't have to worry about the battery dying when I don't want it to. It just seems to be more secure that way, so that's the way we're going to try. Which means before we start, we've got to turn the electricity off. Once again, we are back at the breaker box, and I don't know about you, this can always seem kind of problematic if you are not really comfortable knowing which circuits lead to which if they're not really well labeled. So as I look down the list here, there is one that says dining, pantry, foyer, porch, and garage. So We're going to try turning that one off and see if that one is the one that turns off the electricity to the doorbell. Once the power is off, you can remove that front doorbell. These are just some Phillips screws, which will loosen up. And take out. Now I'm curious, and I like the idea that this doorbell has been sealed against the brick so that it doesn't let moisture in, but it's going to make it a little bit of a challenge to get it off. So I'm going to start with this screwdriver here. Looks like it's been caulked on there. What I will use is this scraper to kind of release that. Boom. Done. Next up in the instructions is putting this template on the brick wall here. It indicates where the screws go so that you can mount the camera. So I'm going to peel this off because it's sticky. And it's got that little square that denotes the place where the wires come through, so we'll put that over the wires, just like that. And then you want this to be level as well, so add this little level here, just to kind of give us an idea, give me an idea where everything goes. So the deal is, you drill the holes where the hole markings are, and then it should fit correctly. So as it turns out, this hole will work for our needs, and then I have to drill another one down here, which I have marked. So I have a masonry bit here. And put a hole in. Once those holes have been drilled, you can attach the bracket that holds the camera against the wall. Since I have brick walls here, I am using masonry screws for this particular job. That distinctive blue color seems to be fairly standard. There are a couple of different brands. They're all blue. You get them at the big box store right there in the hardware aisle. They're blue because they have a ceramic coating that protects them from the elements being outside in the brick, and they don't rust over time. At least that's how I think it works. Using a battery-powered drill for this particular job, set at the screw setting option here at the lowest torque, because as you drive the screw in, you don't want to overpower that and strip the threads that you created in the brick. This is a one-time deal, and if you strip those threads, it's not going to grab the way you want it to, and it's going to be a problem. So 2 screws here, one extra, ready to go, and the other one ready to go in. So that's good. So start by kind of setting that in the hole. And hole number, oh, by the way, those power cords, you want to make sure that they you don't want to put that in all the way at first, because you have this other one that also has to go in. All right, so adding a little bit of slowly back and forth, tighten it down. That clicking means that the clutch here is working and you're not overpowering. So it's on there, ready to attach the power. With the connection cables attached to the house, we can connect those to the camera and turn the power back on, and hopefully fingers crossed again, it all works. And then we can finish setting up with that hard drive doorbell that's in the house, and then we can see what's going on outside the house. So let's start with that. And one lead there. It's a little Phillips screwdriver. Make sure that's on there solid. And then the other lead goes on. Hold on here. All right. You don't want to force anything. Because if you force something, that means it's not fitting correctly. So, and as simple as that, the doorbell is on the wall. Now let's get it connected. Inside the house, this is what the manufacturer calls its home base. It connects to the doorbell camera out on the front porch. It provides the doorbell sounds, but most importantly for us, it provides the hard drive, the memory for all of the video clips that may be generated that stay in your control as opposed to being sent to the cloud. In the back, it wants you to connect directly to your Wi-Fi router with an Ethernet cable. And what that means is that you would have to put the home base right next to your Wi-Fi source, your router, and plug directly into that to get connected. Or if you have Ethernet plugs around the house, as some do, I'm lucky enough to have it in this house, you can plug into the wall, and that gets you connected to your router as well. So we'll plug that in right here, and this will be out in our family room so that we can hear it. Oh, by the way, small little flex. I built this, DIY, which is why we're here. Once everything's connected, we'll go to the app that we just installed and we will add a device and go through the selections of things and services and products that they have. Video doorbell, click on that. You find the name, the model. We have the video doorbell 2K that's wired, so we'll click on that. Now that the camera is synced with the home base, it is working perfectly and collecting images from here on the front porch. It's got a good view of anybody who comes to the front door and you don't want to open the door to talk to them. You can do it right through the camera. A lot of you already have these sorts of devices. You know how they work, but they add an extra level of security that previously didn't exist. It's a little peace of mind. Now that it's all connected, I got to admit, it was not all smooth sailing getting this thing working the way it is supposed to. I chalk that up primarily to the fact that I'm a one and done DIY experience, maybe like you as well, versus someone who professionally installs things like this and knows exactly what to expect. That when you click this, that's going to happen. When you install this, that's going to happen, versus folks like me, again, a one and done, never done it before. You wonder, is it working the way it's supposed to? I had a lot of that, and I kind of had to work the problem, which is what I would suggest with anybody, whether it's this sort of deal or any kind of project. Be patient. There is a solution. Open your mind to possibilities, and those sorts of things will present themselves and get it working in the end. It took me a couple of kind of roundabout sort of ways, but I figured this out. And I figured it out the way it's supposed to work as well. It was just new to me. You might also note that there is this block around the camera, because I found that with the brick wall, the plastic bracket was kind of getting misshapen because the bricks are not completely flat, and consequently the camera was not super secure. So I put this block on there, painted it the color of the house, and then attached the bracket to the block, which was flat. Worked a charm, which again is an example of working the problem, finding a solution. That's what this DIY experience is about, because if you knew how to do it, then you'd probably be doing it to make money, or that would be your profession, versus finding some satisfaction in conquering a challenge like a doorbell camera. So with that said, we are ready to go with this. I'm thankful for that. Mrs. Zizka is probably thankful as well. She'll let me know. Meantime, if you've got some ideas, if you've got some questions, if you've got your own challenges and you're not quite sure how to work them out, hit me up. Facebook, X/Twitter, or email. As always, I monitor all of those. I may not know the answer immediately, but my DIY mind says I can find the answer, or at least lead us all in the right direction. So hit me up and let me know what you'd like to see from Tom's DIY Garage while I monitor who comes to the front porch. I'll see you next time. I'm Tom. Later.